Hey guys, reviewing another clan war here between Valkyria and Illyria. As you can see, Valkyria have Croat, Please Me and Grom playing on their teams, Spain, Germany and Ukraine respectively. And Illyria have Acquiesce as United Kingdom, Witch Doctor as Turkey, and Fornik, pseudonym very nice on this, playing as Poland. Now this is a strange pick. A lot of people won't see a Poland pick in a clan war many times. Normally we go for the standard picks of Italy, France, for that sort of game. So the purpose of Poland in this instance is to really divert attention away from either Germany or the Ukraine and make them second guess where their normal expansions would be. Now for Ukraine in this circumstance, it's still key of getting that cash bonus and the high spawn early for here so that they can defend as much as they can against any sort of Turkey rush. It does, of course, free up Turkey, and Turkey has its own questions when this is asked, because Ukraine may take the option of rushing into the Balkans here and taking away some of that spawn. It's a risky method, especially since Poland will be able to come in and really shore up the east for the Illyrian team here. If we look over in the west, it's a similar scenario. It looks like it's 2v1, but as I said earlier, where Poland is here, Germany may just have to check its expansion a little bit. Spain can try and contest with the UK over France. There may be a full rush from both sides here. Generally, if we're playing a perfect defense strategy and you do it correctly, the UK will win that battle. What might happen and what you might see is Spain taking the option of doing a Desert Storm strategy and staying in Spain, waiting for Acquiesce to make that move, and then coming in with his, overpowered helicopters, or powered up helicopters, if you will, to take that method. It'll be a really interesting battle. We'll wait till turn 2 just to see how it plans out so we can see what the ideas of the teams are. Usually in this circumstance, Turkey becomes quite strong, or indeed the UK player comes quite strong if it goes the other way. So that's what I think will happen. Remember that Poland has the excess cash, so they're not worried about funding. In this sort of circumstance, for the early turns, it becomes more about spawn in the west than it does about the cash-rich areas that I've mentioned in my previous videos. However, as the game goes on, Poland will lose money and will not be able to supply so much money. So, from about turn 4, they will be seeking to get these cash-rich areas under their control. Anyway, we'll wait till turn 2 and have a look. So as you can see from the chat down here, the key battle on this turn was in Rome. I think that Turkey went across and took some units over here to try and take that away, to really eliminate the threat down there from Spain. Acquiesce has done a pretty solid opening in terms of securing that area here. However, as I said, in this circumstance, he may have been better going for the spawn over the cash, as his ally over here has a lot of money. That is, of course, unless they intend for Poland to become the power player and take it us. As we've seen in a previous video, Ukraine has gone for that palace wall. I would say that this palace wall is vulnerable. You can put a unit down here, and if he doesn't get his wall right, it can be wall fucked out. Turkey, for me, should have really gone in and got this expansion with that sort of leverage that he could have taken from Poland supplying those funds very quickly. I think that's an opportunity that's been missed, but obviously he saw the opportunity to take Rome, which looks like it was a close battle over here to go forward. So again, this battle here is kind of 50-50 at the moment still, with the restrictions that are in place for Germany. Although he has taken territories, they are low spawn territories, and with the threat here of Poland and the UK combining to take him out, it may leave a situation that will be the UK versus Ukraine. Spain's been significantly weakened. I don't think he's going to be capped by turn 5, but still, if he doesn't expand correctly and take the risk to expand, you may see Rome being taken by Acquiesce eventually, or indeed from the Turkish ally down here. Now he has a really tough choice, because if he sticks in Rome, he may lose position over this side, or even allow Acquiesce to expand. And if he leaves Rome, then this 17 stack may choose to go into Rome here and take that out. It's really not a key space, because that will open Ukraine up to assault and take some positions in the Balkans. But still, it is something that the Spain player Croat in this instance needs to be aware of. I think for me, this looks like it's a position that's going to come in back to defend his position here, and even take out some position of Acquiesce over here. It's a very interesting start to this game, quite an unusual start. As you see here, this has been designed at the top in northeast Europe to prevent any sort of Polish troops coming out here and taking this key area of funding or key area of troops over here. A nice little wall on Moscow so that that's protected, and if he wants to come back and take that, he will. We'll wait till turn 3 now and we'll take a look at that. I think this is a key turn. Again, it is all about reading the game on turn 2 and reacting and understanding what your opponent's strategy or idea is, based on the position that you were left with after this first turn expansion. So we'll jump into turn 3 and see what happens there. So as I said, here's the start of turn 3. As I said about the incident in Rome, although I expected Turkey to come and take it, it's actually the Polish player that's come down and taken it. Now, Croat didn't make a mistake. He had to go and take some sort of territory here to try and get that secured so that he has enough to face off an inevitable sort of attack from the UK player in Acquiesce over there. Ukraine's done really well in forcing the issue. He's managed to get that palace wall up. I would have still liked to have seen, if possible, from Witch Doctor down here in Turkey, a unit placed around here on the previous turn to try and prevent that wall from forming. However, saying that, he is well protected in Ankara, so it's kind of a stalemate situation in the east over here for them to look at. His troop numbers are down. If you look at it, but saying that his ally is in a good position, if he's able to defend here against this 33 that will most likely rush into Poland, he will be in a good position. I think he will get capped. It depends how many troops he has around here, how much spawning he has available, and if of course they all go together, he's got no chance of defending. The other option for Poland is to really try and damage Germany or Ukraine as much as they can to give them a chance here. So a real difficult position for everyone involved. Depending on the strategy here, Germany may see Acquiesce as not defending and go back there, but I think Acquiesce will turn back here. So turn 3, again, consolidation and takes, even in this sort of strange scenario that you have. You want to try and preserve as many troops as you can and take as much territory before turn 4 as you can, so that you're in a good position for the next reinforcement terms. To be honest, this does look like it's going to be a bit of a rush 3v3, which sometimes happens, especially if you have that sort of disruptive pick like Poland, or even a Sweden pick or an Austria pick, or sometimes people go over here to Russia Volga to pressure Ukraine from that side. Poland is the most standard of all the disruptive picks and is a pretty good foil if you want to disrupt your plans. As you can see, this isn't necessarily going the way of a standard sort of clan war. So we'll pick this up on turn 4 and see what positions we are after. At the moment, we've got the risk of losing Poland, a small risk of losing Berlin over here, and even a small risk of Acquiesce losing over here. I think some of these Spanish cities may get taken, although it will maybe be consolidating over here. I think that would be the smarter move to keep this sort of cash-rich earlier and give his allies a chance in case Poland's running out of money. Okay, so turn 4, that was a great turn if you look at the map here for Valkyria. Germany is now walled, so, obviously a bit of a failure there by Acquiesce in the UK, and also the Polish player to make sure it's down and get it. So he's going to be able to protect and consolidate his position, protect his hold his positions, or even be able to rush somewhere if he wanted to. If I look over here, I did say that these would get taken. It's pretty hard to defend when you've got the less troops there. He's done the right thing in going to take Rome, although Rome's units have been moved where he was holding the Milan, Turin and Naples. He'll now be able to use those troops to try and do some damage. I think he's in a very precarious position in Spain over there. Witch Doctor's done okay. His capital is open, but he's got enough troops over here to defend. He's very good at range skills as well, so he'll be able to come up here. Just looking at that Ukraine wall, that may be costly in the long run, as again, he has no reason to come back and defend, which means he can either try and take out the Polish player over here, or he can go and grab some more areas in the Balkans around this region. If there's a decision to go back and defend Ankara, he's got a choice to make between defending his Balkan regions or going over here. It's still quite precarious. I think that Valkyria have had a really good turn. We'll have a look at the unit counts here. So you've got 80 over there for Grom, 80 for Acquiesce in the UK over here, 56 for Witch Doctor, and 42 for Poland. 33 for Croat and 52 for Germany there. So it is still relatively even in terms of the unit counts. In this situation, given the situation and advantage, if I just zoom out and put the team map on for you, you'll see that really these areas of cash, there's a long area all the way from here to here of cash versus this area of cash but only being held by Aqueous. You've got the red sort of team holding a lot of troop numbers around this side, but it's all dependent really on whether that cash has come forward and if Witch Doctor can hold this area over here to give him a chance to press on for the next turn. So that's the situation we are at the moment. I think this will be a key turn and probably be the deciding turn for the clan war, but let's leave it there. We'll pick it up on turn 5. Okay, so turn 5, a really strong turn for Aqueous here. He's managed to get himself walled up in London. That means he's going to be able to expand out wherever he wants to, defend wherever he wants to. In this sort of range. He's also managed to take out Croat, who really has quite limited options to get back. He only needs to leave around 14 troops in there, and he'll be able to defend quite easily. He's also got the possibility of a turn block coming down here. And great play by Aqueous, obviously with the difficulties that are happening with his team. He had to make some power plays there. Germany is still relatively strong. I know it might not look like it, but he still has the option of Hamburg to provide a route out for him on this sort of sense, as well as some of these key places. I think he will defend on this turn to go forward and really try and keep Grom strong so that Grom can take out Turkey and then continue across and come and help him against an eventual battle versus Aqueous. Turkey, I think he had to go back and defend. It looks like there's been a few battles going around. It's unfortunate that we can't see the battles, but as you can see, he's lost quite a bit of ground versus Grom with 85, and down here really 17 there. It's on Aqueous on that unit count and may turn into a west versus east battle. As depends on how quickly Grom can get rid of Turkey. He's still in a position to be able to defend for a few turns, especially with Fornik over here trying to reduce the unit count as much as is possible, but he does have the foil of a full Germany. I think Aqueous will need to get rid of him quickly, and the same as here. So the key battles at the moment are getting rid of Turkey for Valkyria and getting rid of Germany for Illyria, and then this will be a 1v1 on this side versus this side. Okay, turn 6. So as you can see, there was a lot of consolidation. Sorry about my words there. For Ukraine in keeping and making sure that Poland was taken, and obviously defending Ukraine. I think Aqueous went through the same route as you see over here. Sorry, the video is not that good quality, but he's got 34 in London over here. I still think he's got the advantage over the German player here, but really at this point I think that if Ukraine can go and shore up his regions here, get some full country bonuses and really prepare himself for that western versus eastern battle, then this one will go in the favour of Ukraine. That said, Aqueous is a very competent player, has been very used to being in the mid to end game sort of scenarios, and still has an alive, albeit very slim, chances of surviving this clan war in Turkey. You may see a rush if you expect somebody to cap you. It's always best to move out and try and gather some positions and damage that. If he does that on the same term in which Aqueous is able to cap the German player, then that may do him a favour in the long run. I still think Valkyria have a strong position, but equally Aqueous is very, very strong at the moment. As you can see with Illyria, they've already lost Fornik. Croat's got one more turn. He's not going to be able to defend, but he may be able to block some of these routes or stack up some of these areas here, or even make a few turn blocks so that there's no takeover here. What he may be smart doing, he's got quite a lot of units. He's putting a nice wall across here to prevent at least next turn for this Italian position to be taken, and shoring up the southern sort of region for Illyria. Other than that, I think it's quite still a east versus west sort of scenario. Germany as an ally, as a secondary support, is probably stronger than Turkey is at the moment. But it depends. Witch Doctor does some miraculous things in 1v1s. Let's see if he can alternate and translate that to 3v3.